People tend to get the wrong idea about how Jane and I eat because we're nutritionists. So we thought it would be fun to share what we eat in a typical day. So I'm up first. Stay tuned.
Also eating too much processed sugar.
Here's what Jane and I are not. Strict vegans who never eat sweets. I've been in this situation so often when I'm out to eat with somebody and they're like, oh, don't watch what I eat, or oh, I better be good because I'm eating with you. And I want to enjoy my food too. I don't want to feel like I'm super strict, and that's what we want for you as well. So personally, what I am strict with is I stay away from gluten because 25 years ago I stopped eating it and it was kind of life-changing for me. I had so many digestive issues and I felt so much better when I took it out. So I really haven't looked back on that. But not everyone needs to be gluten-free, although we do find that most of our clients feel much better when they limit it. You know, now it's so much easier than when I first started 25 years ago. We have so many health food stores and foods are in the regular stores and we have delivery, so it's a lot easier now than it used to be. I also limit processed foods, but limit's the key word here. I'm going to share in the link below in the description one of our videos that we talked about healthier versions of processed food, which you should really check out. It's a great video. It has some good ideas on there. But we do eat some foods that would be considered processed, but they're healthier versions of it. So check out that video. Another thing that I limit is sugar, because sugar, you want to watch your blood sugar, especially at this age, and also the unhealthy oils, the vegetable oils and the corn and soy oils and canola oils. We just try to stay away from those. And by taking out the sugar and moving to healthier oils like avocado and olive oil, I've noticed a big change in my energy and just overall health. So one thing that I have a challenge with is my younger son is gluten-free, dairy-free, and corn-free. And he has become an amazing baker with eliminating those foods. So I have to admit it is somewhat of a challenge because he's always baking stuff and wants to share it with me. And of course I want to taste it, but I always try to limit it, eat small amounts, chew it and really enjoy it, and then make sure it's covered so I don't see it when I open the fridge. All right, so what do I eat in a typical day? Well, breakfast is usually around 10 or 11 whenever I start to get hungry. Usually not hungry when I first wake up, but I love my smoothie bowls. Most of the morning I'm having a smoothie bowl. This is kind of a habit for me. Many years ago I moved on to smoothie bowls rather than just a smoothie because I like to eat my breakfast rather than drink it, and I just found that it just kept me fuller longer when I have something to actually chew. The way to make a smoothie bowl is just using less liquid, and then it tends to be thicker and you can eat it with a spoon. I do like to pack in as much nutrition early in the day as possible. Usually I'll put some frozen blueberries or other berries in it. I'll put a half to a third of one of those acai packs. I like to add ginger. I actually will get a bunch of ginger at one time, peel it and chop it up, and then I have a bag of pieces of ginger. And then I add some protein powder to that, often a combination. I really like the Warrior blend from Sun Warrior protein powder, the vanilla. That's what I tend to use most often. But I also will bump up the protein a little bit with some hemp protein. And I use that because it has such a high amount of fiber in it. Just a great way to add some fiber in first thing in the morning. Again, more fiber, but also good healthy fat. I usually put some of an avocado or some avocado mash in that. Then I add some seeds like chia, basil, or flax seeds. And I'm always changing it up. I'm changing around, experimenting and seeing how I feel and seeing how I can bump up the nutrition. And then I add my veggies. So it's not what I would consider a green smoothie bowl, but I do add lots of veggies, whatever I have on hand. I tend to have green powders often. There's a couple that I like. I can put them in the link below, but I'll add some of that green powder. And then also we'll see what I have. So if I have cucumber or celery or romaine, almost always have some arugula in the house. Just whatever I happen to have on hand will go into the smoothie. Usually it's a combo of 2 or 3 of those. I like to also add a shake of cinnamon, and then I blend it up, and then I pour it into a bowl. And then on top of that, I like to throw in some pumpkin seeds, maybe some coconut flakes or cacao nibs. And cacao nibs are just tiny little bits of cacao They are bitter if you just taste them straight, but when I put them in my smoothie bowl, they just add a little crunch to it, and I just love the way that they make it nice and crunchy. Doesn't look pretty because when you blend berries and greens together, it kind of makes this brownish color, but I don't care. I enjoy it, and this is what it looks like when I'm all done. I have to be honest, this is my favorite meal of the day. I look forward to it, and I just feel like I get so much nutrition packed in first thing in the morning. I don't worry about the calories so much because I know I'm getting so much good stuff, and when you eat your calories earlier in the morning, I'm busy moving around and doing different things during the day, so I tend to burn it off. All right, so that's my breakfast. That's the longest thing. I'm usually good to go for about 3 hours or so, and then I'll have lunch. So lunch is a combination of different things. It could be leftovers from dinner, which I'll cover dinner in a minute, but sometimes a salad, just chopped up veggies, or leftover coleslaw if we had that for dinner the night before. We like to make our own coleslaw, pretty easy, and maybe I will share a link to that. But also add some protein to that. Could be some leftover chicken, like I said, or some tuna. I really like Safe Catch as the brand of tuna, and they test every batch for mercury, so want to watch that mercury. I've actually been getting like a 6-pack of those at Costco lately, which is awesome. So you could check your Costco if they have those. Or maybe I'll have some lunch turkey. I get some organic lunch turkey that is pretty much just turkey, water, salt, and those are really all the ingredients you need. Get a bunch at one time. I freeze some, then I take it out as I need it. I can have a wrap. I have these siete wraps from, also I get at Costco. They're almond flour, pretty low carb, and I like to throw some arugula on the wrap and maybe some avocado mash and a good healthy mayonnaise. That's pretty much my lunch usually. Then by about 5, I start to get hungry again. So I need something to eat usually. Have something like an apple and some almond butter on it, or some veggies and hummus. Make sure there's like protein in my snack because I just need it to tide me over. Protein is the most satisfying macro. So I'll have that, or I'll have some pistachios, or if I need something like salty crunchy, I'll take something like Simple Mills crackers, just have a handful of them and dip them into this avocado mash that I like. Also, I get it from Costco, and I'm really spoiled because we have a Costco that's 5 minutes away, so I tend to go there pretty often. Now, if I could change one thing about my schedule, it would be that we eat dinner earlier. We tend to eat later. We rarely eat before 7 unless we have somewhere to be or a class or something. But with all of our schedules, my family, we like to work out together, so we're kind of always waiting for each other. So by the time we do that and then eat dinner, it tends to be a little later. But a lot of times if we are like lifting or something, I'm making dinner in between my sets. So usually it'll be something like Instant Pot. We use that, I'd say 3-4 times a week. We're putting chicken in there, or we're having maybe some beans. A lot of times when I use the Instant Pot, I like to add cabbage to that because I just like the way cabbage comes out in the Instant Pot, and it just picks up the flavor of whatever we're making. So I'll throw some cabbage into the Instant Pot. If we're not doing Instant Pot, it would be something like ground turkey or ground beef, maybe like a tuna casserole, or like egg frittata, where we can throw a bunch of eggs together and chop up some veggies, throw it in, and put it in the oven for 20 minutes. We do a lot of roasted vegetables. Again, I'll buy like a big bag of green beans, fresh green beans, and then just with some olive oil and salt, throw it into the oven, roast it, and then it's done by the time we're done working out. I'll roast Brussels sprouts or broccoli or cauliflower. If we're very short on time, I always have frozen veggies on hand. So frozen broccoli, frozen cauliflower rice, frozen green beans, and we'll throw one of those in, and like to do a combo of fresh and roasted and cooked vegetables. I don't eat a ton at dinner. I mean, I make sure I get my protein and I make sure I'm full, and I like to take my time eating so my fullness can catch up with me. But that's really, usually the plate is half of the veggies, maybe even 3/4 the veggies, and then the protein is 1/4 of the dish. So here's a couple dishes that we've eaten for dinner. And then once dinner's over, that's usually it for me. I don't usually eat anything else, and I don't typically get hungry in the evenings. I think my body has just gotten so used to not eating at that time. So I'm good to go for the evening. I usually try to brush my teeth not long after dinner so I don't get hungry, and it just helps. I find that it helps. So there's a little tip for you. That's my typical day. I would love to hear what you think. Any surprises with what I'm eating? Does it seem difficult, too restrictive? Just let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned for Let's Hear What Jane Eats in a Day.